Alright everybody, welcome to the next match here at the Spin to Win Cup. We have in our best of 3 series here in the group stage on the left, Griefers Don't Know in blue with Nerf Valera. Well, if she's so strong, then I definitely expect them to play her at some point. We got Warzeus on Ragnaros, Haiji on Anduin, Mila on Deathwing, and Shima is playing Sergeant Hammer, going into ambush as the level 1 talent. We already had some very traumatic Sergeant Hammer experiences in this tournament, and well, we'll see what's gonna happen here. Also, High King's Quest on Varian, just saying. On the right side, the Munchies in red with Mekaku on Lily. We got Griffiths on Urel, Old Master on Vala. Mila is playing Kel'Thas, and we got Scar on Diablo. I'm actually quite impressed because it seems that Mila is playing for both teams now. That is something that I'm not quite familiar with. We have Mila on the one side playing Deathwing, and at the same time for the opponent's team playing Kel'Thas. That is quite the feat. I have to admit, this is really impressive. I have not seen this before, but apparently we're having some real powerful playing there. I can only imagine the two computers are involved. You gotta be ambidextrous. Ho 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 ho, and there's the first kill. The Crybaby is down, Anduina is gone. But I still have some trouble getting over the fact that we have the same player on each team, or at least the same account name. I am still imagining, though, that we have an ambidextrous player here with two PCs playing on the one side with his left on the mouse and on the other with the right. I'm not quite sure how that works with voice, if there's like a toggle button so that you can talk with the allies on one side and then you press the button and you talk with the other team. But I have to admit, that's quite some skill. I've seen a lot of stuff in my life, in my esports career. That's new. I've seen people beat Grandmaster player in StarCraft 2 playing with their feet instead of their hands. Yes, that happened. High mana. But yeah, that is a new one for me as well. Now, anyways, what is this tournament? In case that you're just tuning in and you haven't watched any of the previous games, you might look at those team compositions and think to yourself, hey, what's going on here? It's actually very simple. We had a lot of tournament formats in the past, of course, that were all designed to try and break out of the mold a little bit, out of the typical Hanzo Genji stuff that you get necessarily every single game when you don't apply any restrictions. And this is a tournament hosted by the amateur scene, heroeslounge.gg, where everybody can sign up. We're currently in the group stage, so there will be some discrepancies in skills as well between the teams. But there is a certain way how the teams get to their team compositions. Oh, Barbarian played Twin Blades again! No! Big handicap already for the blue team. We'll see if they're a bit more successful than their predecessors. Anyways, I wanted to talk about the tournament format. So, how do they end up with these compositions? It's actually fairly simple. They head to a website where they spin a wheel for every single position within the team composition and then get a random hero within that role. So you will still end up with decent compositions in regards to having at least a healer, having a front line, having damage dealers, but within those roles there is a randomness attached to it that will sometimes just make players and teams play a hero that they might not be all that familiar with. We've already seen some very interesting talent choices, but now, oh, Sergeant Hammer, oh, and barely makes it out. Yeah, so far we only had one kill. The Munchies took one home. Now, if those are kicking in, then I would say that the red team is bound to play a little bit more calm later on as the series continues. Varian is just whacking away with his level 4 talent. And he is actually the main tank. I mean, you can play Deathwing also as a frontline, and I guess the logic here is they're playing with the triple frontline in the first place. But this is still quite the feat. Vala has, by the way, decided that she wants to go into an arrow build, so not the typical build that you see on this map, but as we have said in the past a lot and talked about in detail, on Vala you can essentially play every single build right now. It's a little bit map dependent, it depends a bit on what kind of strategy you're running. You have two bosses here on the map, a lot of the fights are happening around tributes where there are no minions, so you can get a lot of value out of your arrow build if you prefer to do that. Now, I gotta admit, just right from the get-go, Kel'Thas definitely with a no-balls performance here did not go into convection on level 1. Seems like he's trying to win the game, going straight into Mana Addict, and then still oh, that could be a kill. Nah, nice save by Diablo here. That could have been a kill against Griffiths on Urel, but Diablo was there and saved him, just pushing Varian a little bit far back. Now Vala is dealing currently with Sergeant Hammer down at the bottom of the map. Deathwing still sitting with the team up at the top. I think he could have maximize that a little bit using his abilities. But this is going to be an interesting one. Varian so far with Twin Blades has not won anything, so they're apparently trying to correct the record here. We're, by the way, in Group C at this point, so we're going to go over most of the games out of the group stage as we're heading then slowly into the actual tournament format. And ooh, that should not have happened. A little bit of a bait, apparently, from Vala, trying to lure Sergeant Hammer in so that Urel could get the kill. But what happened is that Vala stepped a little bit too far into range and got killed, but Sergeant Hammer dies as a result of the Urel rotation. Now, the tribute is taken by the blue team, meaning that the Griefers have now taken the first tribute of the game, but they have 3 deaths on their side already, so a little bit of a problem if they don't turn things around here. They're falling behind in experience already. Varian, of course, is hoping to scale and come online a little bit later. But as I was about to say, we're going to... Oh, Varian! Varian! Yeah, he's dead. He should be dead. He is dead. Yeah, he is definitely dead. 100%. He's dead. So yeah, I'm gonna go over a lot of the games in the group stage over the next couple of days and weeks, and then we're gonna also go into the tournament. Now again, a quick reminder, anybody could sign up here, so you will see more amateur players, but as we're then progressing from the group stage straight into the tournament bracket, of course the top teams will slowly emerge here. But it's actually quite fun what we've seen so far. Now I am happy to report that Sergeant Hammer knows that Hover Siege mode is the only viable talent if you're trying to play competitive. And no, I don't want to see any YouTube comments that explain to me about Khaldor. In my Bronze League games and quick match, I can go for graduating range. I believe you. You can get away with pretty much anything in quick match and also in rank. But tournament is a little bit different once that you're playing in an organized environment. Even if it is just in the lower levels, you should go for meta builds. They will serve you better in the long run. There's a reason why the top players have certain builds that they always go for on specific heroes. There is variation overall, don't get me wrong, but yeah. Boss about to be stolen, and they actually steal it. The double boss play by the Munchies. They take Varian out too. That's 11 on the board. The level 10 ability here playing a massive role, of course, in this. And the blue team just too slow on the objective. Vala helping out quite a bit. I have to say though, she went into Frost Shot on level 7, so didn't go Monster Hunter, but that single target damage with the arrows still quite helpful when you're playing on the boss. They were super quick up at the top, and with the help of the boss they could now destroy the first fort here too. But that rotation down to the bottom of the map, interrupting the blue team and then getting not only the kill, but steal the boss and now push for the second fort. Massive moves here made by the Munchies. We have Ragnaros with a lava wave. They're trying to defend, but it didn't quite work out for them. Level 10 kicked in late. That was the biggest problem. The whole idea of Griefers Don't Know was, of course, to take that boss as they identified that the Munchies were doing the same at the top quickly enough so that they could move away from it, since they didn't have heroics, but it was just too little too late. Now the good news is that Varian is still working on his High King's quest, so he's currently sitting on 2 completed rewards here already. He's trying to get more damage in. He's going to be the one to try and drive the agenda a little bit later. We haven't even talked about Lily in this context, but she went on level 10, of course, for the jug of 1,000 cups right now. As Varian is cosplaying Illidan right now and just like trying to get his hits in. I kind of like what the Munchies are doing, honestly. Good rotations from them so far. Tribute against Tribute. Played some pretty decent moves here. Sometimes you might try and nitpick about execution, but the rotation from one boss to another, fighting down at the bottom of the map, maximizing the value they could get out of their level 10 abilities, so far pretty good. They're hitting level 13 any moment now, and that should give them the second tribute. Varian is already down at the bottom of the map, attempting to get some extra experience for the Griefers, who still could utilize Deathwing a little bit better to maybe delay just a tribute pick, for example. Vala coming in from the side, trying to get a kill here, going for Anduin, nearly soloing him here, but it's Urel who comes in for the final hit and gets the kill. Now the focus fire on Ragnaros, and that's another one. Beautiful flank play here from the Munchies. Nicely done. Getting that kill. And Vala really putting on a bit of a clinic here against them. Old Master seems to be one of the old school for sure. The Vala flank. And now soloing, or trying to solo, Varian. Oh, now that Lily is here, Varian said, okay, I'm gonna man up a little bit. I'm gonna show my son how it's done. It's the father-son duo over here. But this is still kind of funny. Yeah, as long as he leeches up the Vala, he can actually nearly get a counter kill. But it is Varian at the end of the day that dies. So the father-son duo is not doing all too well right now. Varian and Anduin. Yeah, Lava Wave, obviously, with a little bit of extra control on the lanes now. They're trying to focus on macro. Trixler's going to be very happy about this. Now, if they went into taunt with Varian, they could have gone Sulfuras and pretty much blown any target to pieces within seconds. They decided not to do that, so they are looking for a different approach to the game. And so far, it's not really working for them. Now we got 20,000 damage for Vala currently, 25,000 for Ragnaros. Here comes again, Anduin with a light bomb, is in trouble, goes down first. Varian trying to get a kill, has to fall back though. He's all alone there, but you can already see that he's starting to have a bit of an impact. Not the most damage on his part, he's currently 4th highest on his team, but that's pretty typical. I mean, if you ever look at the damage that Illidan, for example, puts out, especially in the earlier stages, it's kind of the same. So later on, as the single target damage ramps up, they can get some more damage in, but without AoE or normally not racking up numbers that are really all too meaningful there. It is the gap in experience that worries me the most. Level 16 any second for the Munchies. And now Urel trying with the solo on Ragnaros, and yeah, he's dead. The blue team also cursed as the last tribute is taken. They're trying to at least get a kill in the middle. Varian is again up on the move. They're going in deep, way too deep. Deathwing is turning into Deadwing any seconds. He has a problem. Old Master takes him down, missed the arrow, but still gets the kill. Varian is able to escape, but the problem is still the same. Curse against Griefers don't know, and they're down to 3 players. That's a huge problem for them. Urel is already pushing the bottom of the map. Nice approach from Diablo, but also decent save from Anduin, but couldn't save Daddy at the end of the day, as you can tell here. Vala has now also Manticore, went into the siphoning arrows as well. And as Urel is breaking through the wall at the bottom of the map to push for the first keep of the game, with 12 kills to 1, we now have the Munchies just barreling through the middle. Now once the Munchies are really starting to kick in and the edibles, then I think they're going to slow things down a little bit. But for now, they're absolutely hyper here. The energy drinks that they've definitely been consuming are doing work. We now have them on nearly a 3-level lead. Keep at the bottom of the map is getting attacked. And over here in the middle, the keep is going to fall. Even with, I mean, they have 4 back on the map, but Sergeant Hammer is missing. They should at least get 1, maybe even 2. Now that Ragnaros has fallen, what's stopping them? They need to get some keeps here. All the forts are already destroyed. Fantastic pressure play. Also abusing the fact that they have not only a stats advantage thanks to the extra levels, but of course on top of that also the talent advantage with level 16. And they're moving in for the boss immediately. Very little that the blue team can do about it. If they go in here to try and fight, are they trying? Oh, it's got a numbers disadvantage, and a really big one at that. That is committing honorable Sudoku, if you ask me. So, not looking too great here for them. But Deathwing moves in. Boss is taken. Varian a bit slow on the approach, but they get the kill against Vala at least. Varian dies for his sins here, and Lily is still with the heals as the rest of the team is getting chased. Deathwing moving over to the right, whereas everyone else moves towards the left, towards the keep, trying to save it. It's down to 50% of its HP already, and the boss is moving through. This is going to be difficult to stop, if not impossible. I don't think they can save that keep. The bigger question is, can they save the core? Now, to be fair, we're currently 12 minutes into the game, so the boss not too strong. They should be... Oh, Ragnaros also with a nice trade here. Goes for the molten core and immediately is slowing things down a bit. They're pushing the rest of the team back too, so... The Munchies playing this very, very safe here. I'm not even sure anymore if they can get the keep itself. I think they should. Actually, not quite. That keep might still stand after the attack, and yes it does. As I said earlier, we're only 13 minutes in, meaning that boss not that powerful just yet. Ragnaros just keeps going through the top lane with the lava wave. So the whole idea here really being trying to at least mitigate some of the problems that they have here. If the keep was destroyed on any of the auxiliary lanes, I would have said use it there. Personally, I would have focused onto the bot lane, because that's the lane where you're going to have the most pressure against your keep from here on out. But any lane that they don't have to pay attention to is going to allow them to focus on the rest and defend there. Storm Talent's about to kick in. We have 36 stacks by now for Vala. Getting Acrobat, obviously, with the arrow build. Trying to continue this here. And this is the moment where the blue team has to soak 2 levels. So quite a lot that they need to do in order to get to a point where they can compete with the opponent again. We now have also Sergeant Hammer on 16, Giant Killer, of course. By the way, Lord of Terror for Diablo. And we're getting the Flamethrower for Khaldor. And with the boss taken at the top, they are now pushing for the next key. I really like the mercenary rotations from the Munchies, but as I said before, once that they are ahead, they know what to do. They're really just trying to get further and further ahead by exploiting that advantage. And they realize, with Storm Talents, we need to push, we need to do something. So they go for keep number 2. They have so far not really committed to any of these fights, playing it safe, but not too safe, still trying to get something out of the position that they're in right now. And they will get another keep here. Even if Ragnaros is able to get another trade through, I don't think the cooldown is ready, but even if it was, that keep is gone. Can they go further though? It's a 5 versus 5 right now. That Storm Talent advantage still a big deal. Red team is falling a bit low, but Lily hasn't used her ult yet either. Here comes Ragnaros, trying for the defense. Ult is out already. They're going for Varian. And we have also Deathwing up at the front. I'm, by the way, still laughing about each side having a player called Mila. There is 100% a story here. But talk about split personality. So, yeah, the yin and the yang. Maybe they're brothers, who knows? Anyways, the next tribute kind of needs to be taken by the red team. Not only do they have the big advantage here, but also you want to prevent the curse for their opponents. The one ticket back, the chance to bring this back for the blue team is, of course, them grabbing now a tribute and then taking structures out with it. Timing decent here on the wave, gets another minion wave as well, so that means they are closing in on level 20, but this is obviously the final keep that falls. The Munchies with a good rotation, exploiting this as best as they can, and just before the blue team is able to get to a Storm Talent themselves, they have now lost every single structure, and the only thing that they themselves were able to take down is a fort at the bottom of the map. Khaldor is the top damage dealer for the red team with 45,000. Vala comes in a close second, and Sergeant Hammer overall leading the charts with a 56k that she is adding up. Varian, on the other hand, with Twin Blades, not looking too good here. I'm telling you, boys, it's all about the taunt. Play taunt, play Sulfuras, and try and snipe some targets, but that meme Blade Varian is exactly that. He's just a meme and not much more. You might get away with a couple of wins in Storm League and Quick Match, but once that you're moving over into the organized tournament scene, your chances are dropping quite significantly on that. So, still waiting for the first meme Blade Variant. By the way, when we ran the Bounty Cup, when we literally incentivized people by offering them money to try and get wins with Wind Blades, it was one of the few bounties, I think one of 3, that wasn't even attempted. Because all of the top players looked at it and was like, nah, that's too shit. Like, we're gonna play Gazlo, we're gonna play Murky, we're gonna do all kinds of crap, but we're not gonna go for Variant with meme blades because it's just like too garbage and it's not worth it. Red team is cursed. Not quite sure why they allowed this without the fight. Like, what? I mean, you can definitely do that, but now your top lane gets attacked. I'm not so sure about that, and you're also giving your opponent a huge opportunity here. There's no pressure on the red team structures, so of course they're moving in to contest this. This is probably going to be the final fight here, depending on who wins it, and Ragnaros is already down. Deathwing is dead, and that's a 5 versus 3. This should be it, honestly. With a 5 versus 3 and the boss already taken, Varian can whack away as much as he wants, but he explodes too, gets killed by Khaldor. The arrow of Vala dancing around here as well. And now with 18 kills to 2, they're just moving towards the core. Absolute execution here in game number 1 of this best of 3 series in Group C. Very nicely done. Well played by the Munchies. Couple of attempts to bring it back by Griefers don't know. But apparently they don't know how to play it. Like, I don't know. We'll find out in game number 2 if they can turn it around. But at least in this game, they kind of got murdered. Vala, talking about murder, gets killed here towards the end. But the shield is already gone. And yeah, with Sergeant Hammer dying too. Oh, actually surviving. But with Anduin probably going to die. Doesn't matter who dies and who doesn't die. The core goes down. Boss is going to take care of it. They try to go for Anduin. He's on the run, doing what he does best, employing the French defense here and just hoofing it. But the core destroyed. That's game number 1 for the Munchies as they take the lead against Griefers Don't Know. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Game number 2, an all-direct pass. The Munchies in the lead against Griefers Don't Know. And oh boy, this time the wheel has spoken. RNGesus is what's not with these two teams. I mean, I guess depending on how you look at it. But look at these compositions here. Nerf Valera is playing Tracer this time. We have Hige on Genji, Shima on Atanis, Warzus on Arthas, and Mila1 on Lili. So Atanis, Arthas at the front with Genji Tracer. At least the damage is looking okay here. Very agile. Then we have Mekaku over on the Munchie side with Lili as well. So for the second time in a row now, Lili heals for the red team. Griff is on Diablo. Old Masters playing Tazada with the Cyan Fusion. We got Scar on Artanis. And we got Mila on Mephisto. So basically we have now Artanis and Lili on each side. This is one of the interesting things that can happen in this particular format with the way that they decide the team compositions, that you can have mirror matches, which is a nice touch, honestly. You had that in the past in Heroes of the Storm, of course, but that was removed at some point. But here, still a possibility. Bit of a different way that they're going. Oh, Tacita down, Diablo down. Look at the Griefers Don't Know here. They are doing work, but they overstay. No, they lose Tracer and they might lose more. Arthas is getting attacked, but he makes it past the gate and is still alive as everybody goes for the full-out brawl here in the middle of the map. On all direct pass. That's gonna be a fun one. This is really gonna be a fun one. The Munchies did well in game number 1. They absolutely crushed it here. And now we'll see also which Artanis is best. I mean, honestly, Artanis is traditionally pretty trash because the problem with Artanis is always the same. There's so many Artanis lovers out there, they get triggered whenever I say this. But Artanis is shit because there is always a better choice in this position. Now, does Artanis add something to the team? Oh, of course he does. Is he better than not playing any hero in that position? Yes, he is. Can we see the occasional God swap? Duh. But if you would go for an absolute down-the-line meta hero, you would get more value. Doesn't mean he's not fun. It's actually quite a bit, but he's also a little bit of a punching bag. And, well, case in point, Artanis is dead again. But in this case, Artanis is going to win. We don't know which one, but one of them is going to take it. There's not going to be a stalemate here. So let's see which Artanis makes it. Let's see how Arthas is going to perform here too. Is the Tracer Genji comp going to be able to just rip that backline apart, go for the double mage? Because that's another problem the Munchies are facing right now. We have a double mage damage dealer combo. That's not something that you usually play. Double mage is pretty much frowned upon. You're very cooldown dependent. You can technically make it work even in the good old HGC days. Dignitas was in the last season in their scrims experimenting a little bit with double mage combos. The idea just being that they execute perfectly their cooldowns around individual kills and just play those out. But normally, as Tacita is getting wrecked, normally you want to have an auto attacker at least and then have some sustained damage, and you can of course then also go for the cooldown based mage around it. But yeah, time will tell. Diablo barely makes it. Same is also true for Lili. Oh, look at the skin here. I like it. Professional Lili player detected. Okay. Well, maybe not so professional after all. Then again, escape. So there's that. Now, we got level 4 talents kicking in. That also gives us a bit of an idea of what Arthas is currently doing here. And while we have Artanis against Artanis, brother against brother, Protoss against Protoss at the top, it seems that Arthas is going for a more aggressive build here. He goes for the Icy Talons on level 4 that usually leads into Rune Tap on level 7, where you have then some of your self-sustain kicking in. But this is normally more of a Bruiser style Artanis build that he's currently using here, and it's a little bit old school too. So we'll see if he just keeps following up with talents down that particular playstyle, or what's going to happen here. We're now at level 7 nearly for the two teams. The next talent is about to kick in, and we already have also up on the map the first objective that could now be played for. Nice gank on Artanis, and he is dead. So, 3 kills to 3. It's definitely a better start for the blue team than it was in game number 1, but the Munchies are starting to stabilize a bit after that early brawl didn't really turn out in their favor. Also on level 1 for Arthurs, we get the Eternal Hunger. They're starting to stack that up for a bit more mana control here and also damage currently. Zeus, ooh, he might not make it here. Oh! Past the gate, and there's the kill. As Old Master comes in with Tassadar and just drops him like a hot potato. Yeah, but then again, Tassadar, he's getting a little bit farmed now, isn't he? So he gets taken out by Genji, and that's the big danger later on. The squishy mages are just going to be absolutely farmed by Tracer and Genji. This is going to get a bit tricky. Artanis also, our 2 players have gone for different builds, just to highlight that again. We have on one hand Protector of Ire, which I'm honestly a little bit annoyed about. I think the talent is pretty much trash. I think you normally don't get anything properly done with it. I really would love for Blizzard to slightly buff it. It's a bit of a tricky one, because if you buff it too much, then it's of course an absolute damage machine, and a late game Artanis would rip everything apart. But I think there is definitely a middle ground where you can just try and make tiny adjustments and make this a bit more viable than it currently is. You see it played every now and then if Artanis gets played at all, but I think especially these late game scaling talents, if you just tweak the numbers a tiny degree, at some point you will hit that threshold where players are saying, hey, this is now all of a sudden becoming an actual option for me because I'm getting value out of it. Blizzard, on the other hand, tends to go overboard when they make changes and then just rip it apart in the other direction, so we'll see. Artanis does what he does best, he dies again, and it seems like Arthas is gonna follow because he got completely isolated and pushed into a wall. They ganged up on him like the bullies in high school on the local nerd, so yep, he's down. But Tracer, woohoo! That's a nice one. Takes down Tassadar, who's not having a good game here. The red team has 5 deaths, and 4 of those are against Tassadar. So Old Master might have gotten some decent damage out and also a few kills for the team, but he's also getting a bit wrecked here. Definitely having a tough time. Now, while this plays out, the objective has been taken, meaning that the Munchies are walking away with the first objective here. So let's see if they can even do some structural damage. Normally when talking about the first objective on this map in particular, it's honestly not that much damage that you're going to be able to do. Traditionally, you're breaking through a couple of walls. If you're lucky, you do some serious fort damage. But this might actually result in the first fort being taken out, considering the damage that they've already done in the mid lane. Level 10 abilities have kicked in on both sides. Both Artanis players have gone for the laser. They both know, apparently, about the secret counter. Walk away from it! But, yeah, we'll see. Laser is probably one of the things that's always the funniest to me. It always ends up with a couple of people commenting, but you don't understand! If you drop laser on somebody, they cannot participate in the fight anymore. Those are usually the people that don't know what a stutter step is, but yeah. You can walk around and still participate in the fight, especially if you're an auto attacker. So, 5 kills to 6. You can get value. Like, we need, if we go for the meme heroes, boys, if we go for like the trashies, then we need to go and go deep. We have seen Phoenix, Planet Cracker with Murky Octograb. Where's my Artanis laser with Murky Octograb? Give me the beam, give me the brrrr, and just melt it away. Like, that's the strategy that we really need to go for here. Maybe in this case I can sync it up with Syndragosa, slow him down a little bit. I'm honestly not really on board with what Arthas is doing here because I think they are going to lack their front line. They need more survivability there. They're up against Diablo and Artanis on the other side, and Arthas is just nowhere near the tankiness that Diablo is going to bring to the table. Especially with the added stuns now too. Tracer, she's still farming the mages, getting the kill against Mephisto over in the middle. Was an attempt by the Munchies to get a boss, which didn't work out for them. They have not taken down that fort in the mid lane either, by the way. But the damage is now coming. So, 6 kills to 6. Tracer also on duty here. This is one of the problems, by the way. And this is actually echoing what I said in game number 1. I like what the Munchies are doing with their camp rotations. They have now multiple times taken the camp in the mid lane. And as you can see here, the blue team is just not doing that as regularly. So they will take it eventually, I suppose. Genji's on the way as we now speak. But just the amount of camps that are taken by the red team and the way that they are timing it is already a point in their favor. Another rotation down to the bottom of the map, trying to take it here. Good news for the blue team is they're still ahead in experience. And they might actually be... Oh, the laser show starts. And, well, there's the damage against Artanis, and he is down. He has 130 stacks now, but the problem that the Griefers don't know are still facing is their Artanis dies a lot more. And now with him gone, it is a numbers advantage at the bot lane with a 4 versus 2 that the Munchies are trying to exploit right away as they're moving in for that fort. And if they don't get help soon, then he is dead. So Tracer's a bit low, Genji's coming in. Next prisoner camp is up, but what about Mikaku? Goes down. Lily against Lily action. A movie I definitely would not watch. But that is a kill against the Panda, and Diablo doesn't make it either. Scar on Artanis is also dead. It's a triple, baby. Triple kill against, bot kill actually, against the Munchies. So, 1.5 level lead now for Griefers Don't Know. That's the opportunity to go for either the objective or for the boss, and the choice has apparently been made. Going for the boss now. Artanis with 22,000 damage on the blue team side, with a damage talent on level 1. And on the other side, we have our Artanis player with 28,000, nearly 29,000 damage, being the top damage dealer for the Munchies. The mages not able to keep up with it right now. The laser is already in. Oh, the boss stun! They got the vision, the big boss stun. Here comes the invade. APOC is being used. They want to steal it, and they're looking good. Lily with the heals. Diablo, they can't kill him. He holds the point. Finally goes down. Who claims it? Lily down. Arthur's down. They're all dead or dying. Another laser from Artanis, and here comes the kill against Genji. They kill Artanis, and that is 4. That's the hit right there, and oh boy, that was quite the move. They still get the kill against Tassadar, but that was a little bit too much. Look at the end of the fight here. Absolutely nasty. Big hits here. They kill everyone. They steal the boss. I'm having flashbacks to game number 1, honestly, with the way that this has been playing here. But yeah, this is just crazy. So right now the mid lane gets pushed as they are hoping for a second fort. They already destroyed the one down at the bottom of the map. But damn! First the vision. Artanis uses his laser against the blue team. They're trying to dodge. They're pushed. Space is becoming a premium as they're moving into the boss stun. Don't pay attention, get stunned out, and then everything just goes to shit. So now it's level 16 talents on both sides at the same time, which means that the Munchies have completely caught up in experience. But holy hell. Blue team bosses, they are not their friend, as it seems. It didn't work in game number 1, it doesn't work in game number 2. Now they can't get the kill at the top against Artanis, and instead Genji dies. But, wow. Some serious problems now for Grievous Don't Know. That was a big blow against them. So they go for the minion camp again, but of course topside boss is now going to get attacked. They haven't moved in for the objective yet. Instead they're going for the boss. They've taken the camp in the middle. 12 kills to 12. What a game. And yeah, as I said before, that front line is suffering. We have 8 deaths now between Artanis and Arthas. So the two really having some troubles here. If you compare that to the opponent, only 3 deaths on Diablo and 1 on Artanis for the red team. So clear difference here. So they're at least trying to get the objective. And if they're buying a little bit of time, they might actually be able to make something happen here. But the rotation is coming. They're going to try and stop this right now. Can they though? 13 seconds left. They're trying to interrupt. Boss at the top is taking the fort down. Objective is about to be taken. Does anybody interrupt? It doesn't seem like it. They want the kills instead. Objective is going to be claimed by the blue team. But can they survive here? That's the big question. Diablo's a bit low, but so is Artanis. Artanis takes down Artanis. Diablo falls a moment later. And they're just going ham. Arthas, Mephisto, both dead. They take down Artanis on the red team side too. And this is finally a fight that goes the way of Grievous Don't Know. They want to follow up with the kill against Old Master as Tracer is moving in. Lily with a couple of additional heals. And there it is. Tassadar goes down. They go for Mikaku. And that's another kill. 5-man team. Wipe. The entire team destroyed. the objective on the map. Maybe now the chance. The fort in the middle has already been taken out. The boss at the top has taken down the fort and the wall. But they now push for keep number 1. Straight through their middle here. Blow for blow between the two teams now, as they are at each other's throat, trying to edge out an advantage. The Munchies are trying to avoid game number 3. They want to end it all here, but Griefers don't know. With the big play in the middle this time, they take the keep out, and that's the first armor shield on the core removed. Imagine this without the problem, the disaster that they faced at the bot lane, where they lost the fight at the boss. The boss got stolen and they lost their entire advantage. Now, thanks to that last battle, they still have a level advantage now, and they're closing in on Storm Talons. They're also doing some serious damage on these remaining forts. The one at the top is already... I mean, this is gone. They're going to take the one at the bot lane too. All the forts are now gone, and one keep has been destroyed. This is the dream! The dream for the blue team. This is the big opportunity to force game number 3 in this series. This is definitely a huge chance. Now we have on level 16 final cut, Dignitas' favorite talent. We're getting Ricochet for Tracer. And also slightly different builds, by the way, when we're talking about our 2 Lily players here. Very different builds, actually. On 16 we get the Blessing of Yulon, and on the other side we got the Pick Me Up. With level 20, I suppose we're going to get the same choices. It's all about them heals. I'm not sure why they're pushing through the middle here, by the way. I don't like that whatsoever. Even with level 20. Steal the opponent's camp away, I'm a fan. Push for one of the side lane keeps, that's another great choice. Try and take a boss when it pops up, currently not available. But don't push for the core through the middle. That is a recipe for disaster. It's definitely not something you want to do here right now. So I would be a bit careful around that. The 20s have been taken, and they actually upgraded. Target Purified. Okay. Curious what we're getting on the red team side for Artanis. Not a choice that I really expected here. 170 stacks now on the auto attacks for Artanis too. It's not enough. Not enough. Bosses up at the bottom. This might be too telegraphed. I can already promise you that the red team is going to get level 20 talent. Genji gets immediately stunned by the boss. It's definitely not the start they're hoping for. It's happening again! It's happening again! They already got the vision. They're coming in. They want to contest this. Who takes it? Artanis is there. Went straight into the plasma burn, but he's the first one to fall. 5 versus 4 now. The blue team. Big opportunity, but great ult from Mephisto. There's the chance. Here's the laser. And it's Arthas and Genji that are both dead. The boss is still leashed. Mephisto dies. And the boss resets just as they're finishing out the fight. 3 versus 3 now. Tracer still moving in, looking for the kill. Can't get it. Ah, Tacita is in trouble. The wall is done. And the kill. What a bloodbath again. Lily is the only survivor, and she is being chased now too. Oh my god. Absolute carnage here, as you can see in the replay. But yeah, that was something. That wall stun by Diablo netted them another kill, and that was really important. But now it's another 5-man wipe, as Lily has died again. Diablo is the one that came back the fastest. 22 kills to 17. What a game. Look at the damage numbers. 70,000 damage by Tracer. She's really been running the show here. Tons and tons of kills in the backline. 55,000 from Mephisto on the side of the Munchies. We have now also Artanis with 7 deaths and with 3 deaths. So, yeah. Basically, the one thing that I'm taking away from this, looking at Tacita, who's at 8 deaths, is that Protoss just suck. It's something that, as a former Zerg player, I'm definitely very familiar with, but now, here we have it, black and white. We know for sure. I mean, here's proof. Can't argue with that. Protoss just suck. They just suck. It's proof. Zerg, Terran is just superior. We all do it. Now we have proof. Here comes the damage, though, as the blue team is pushing for the objective, and they didn't wait for the rest of the team. Yes, Lily wasn't there yet for the Munchies, but they were absolutely willing to take that fight with the numbers advantage that they had at that moment. So now it's a 5 versus 3, and I don't understand why they're fighting! What are you doing here? Get away! Wait for the rest! What is the play? Why? No! Tannis, he wanted to die again. He wants to go for the double digits. That's his real goal here. He's at 8 deaths. He's like, I gotta step it up a little bit. Tassadar ahead of me. I will never hear the end of it. And next Thanksgiving dinner, when all of the Protoss meet, I need to die a little bit more aggressively. I need to make it to 10 at least. Tracer still trying to get kills here. But, yeah, wasn't able to make that work. But what? I mean, what a crazy thing right now. The blue team, honestly, with some choices, I'm definitely saying, like, why are you still fighting here? I understand that you're trying to be a little bit sneaky around this and you're trying to delay things, but now you're going to lose Genji and you're just feeding them kills. It's staggered death. You're at a numbers advantage consistently now. What's happening here is they're panicking. They're panicking. They're trying to side lane push with Tracer to force them back from the objective. If they just had cut their losses after losing the initial heroes, fall back a little bit, they could have easily gotten 5 back up on the map to fight for the objective again. Now they are at a numbers advantage for another 40 seconds. They've been in a numbers advantage for ages, and this is the chance for the Munchies to bring it back, turns it around. We have 43 kills in total, by the way. 43 kills in total, but oh my god. Ridiculous. 62,000 damage for Tassadar now. 60,000 for Tannis. 61,000 for Mephisto. And then over on the other side, 87,000 for Tracer. They defended the bottom keep. And Tannis is taking it easy there. But the objective has now been taken, and this is going to be an opportunity for the Munchies. Blue team, why are you fighting? What are you trying to accomplish? What is the play? They already have the objective. Why are you fighting 4 versus 5? No! Not like this. At least give me that last fight. Guys, this is a to-do list of what not to do in a game. I get it. They're panicking. Their adrenaline is pumping. But why fight? Why are you pushing for 4 versus 5 battle? Genji was still dead. He wasn't there. The objective is already taken. There's nothing to win here. Now you're losing Artanis. You're losing Lily. You're losing Trash Tannis too. And you're losing Arthas, I meant. And you're losing the game. Oh, Griefers don't know how to win games. They throw the entire thing away. You had it, boys. You had so many opportunities here. But now they lose the keep in the middle. They lose the one at the top. 2 of the armor shields are removed. That is a 2-0 victory. That's game. The Munchies with a big turnaround towards the end. And the Griefers. Oh my god. Oh, I bet you there's a couple of keyboards that broke after that game. Wow. Munchies with a victory. 2-0 in Group C of the Spin to Win Cup. GG.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.